Thank you for everybody who's in the chat, or excuse me, the live stream. It's Jared Smith. I haven't played those with this new It's been a while. This podcast quite yet, but just wanted a little bit of disclaimers. It's next to the podcast, the sound interviews will be there. Obviously, you got a last section here, which is super duper, or section, I should say, super duper cool. So yeah, just let me know if you can hear me okay with all this going on. So, definitely going to do our broadcast. I'm going to keep all this out. Something to say is that we are only able to do 100% of it now. Hopefully we can do that later this weekend, tomorrow or Sunday. But obviously, this is how the phone work. So, we just got what we got. So, just going to go and play. But the big picture is around the middle of support. I think that a lot. So yeah, just let me know if you can hear me in the chat, okay? If anybody can, I'd greatly appreciate that. Just to know that our audio is reasonably okay going into the game. Go A's is right to the two comments I see here on the live stream. Go A's.
To the Arcata ballpark for the 81st season of Humboldt baseball. Starting lineup brought to you by Compass Community Credit Union and the North Coast Co-op, starting with the visiting Fresno A's. Batting first, number 14, shortstop George Smith. Batting second, number 24, first baseman Ethan Wood. Batting fifth, number 34, designated hitter Parker Purcell. Batting sixth, number 13, left fielder Mikey Ramirez. Batting seventh, number 9, second baseman Brian Sunday. Batting eighth, number 2, right fielder Luke Reed. Center fielder Tyson Miller. Cooper Toole. The Fresno A's are managed by Wyatt Featherstone. And now the starting lineup for your Humboldt Crag. Batting second, number 13, shortstop. Batting third, number 5, first baseman Liam Forsythe. Batting fourth, number 6, right fielder Sutter Law. Fielder Adam Anyar. Party. Batting seventh, number 10, second baseman Kavana Suarez. Tucker Roger. Center fielder Timmy Reed. Number 12 from Eureka, California, Miles Sanders. And please rise, if able, remove your hats for the performance of the national anthem by the crowd draft stand. A little famous Pregame band with our anthem, everybody give them a hand.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Jared Smith, your play-by-play announcer for the Fresno A's. As always, let me know if there's any technical difficulties going on. Hopefully that sound is good because we are going to be competing with a lot of sound today. Not only the PA system for the announcer for the Humboldt Crabs, but also we have a whole band here in the stands, which is pretty awesome to see, no doubt about it. As a kid just throws out the first pitch for the game. But yeah, here we are, Arcata, California, on the Humboldt Bay. It is chilly. It's in the mid 50s, and the fog has already rolled in. So way different than what we're used to in Fresno, California. But some quick history on the Humboldt Crabs. It is a very historic team to collegiate baseball. They have been in existence since 1945, so over 80 years of Humboldt Crabs baseball. And we have some very interesting dimensions to take a look at in this ball field. You'll take a look out in left field to the foul pole. It is 307 feet, super duper short. It's almost like a green box that you would see at Fenway Park. And the deepest dimension is 394 out of left center field. And then the right field will be with tall fence as well. So it's just one of those nice works that people into whatever space they have in the town. But it's in a full here about the of our hit and freeway is running field. This town Arcata just under 19,000 people in population. The Arcata sports game. It is awesome to see that they're coming in. It's a local brand. Again, I'm in the fan section here and the concessions. It's a lot of people team. The days on this broadcast and most people that are viewing this broadcast, but it's awesome to see a small town get home to the team. So, anyways, here's something that we're not used to. The Fresno Athletics are leading off for a game here as we're the away team. It is the top of the first, and it is going to be shortstop George Smith that digs into the box, and he takes ball one. Something to tell you guys as well, we do not have a free camera view for today. You know, with it being not being our home ballpark, we just make do with what we have. So I have this camera on the side of the announcer's booth. That was another ball, so it is 2-0 now to Smith. I'll go ahead and run through that lineup when I get the chance here. So quickly, 3 balls to George Smith. Taking a look at his stats on the year, it's been fantastic. Through 9 games, he's batting .387 with a team-leading 1.083 OPS. That is for everyday starters as he takes ball 4 and a walk to start this game. He also has scored the most runs on the team with 16 runs and 14 steals on the year. So there's first base for George Smith, leadoff runner for the A's, as George Smith has done so much this year. Ethan Wood stepping in now for the second batter of the game. Pitch called strike. That is the first pitch of this ball game for the Crabs pitcher, Standish, who is a local around here in regards to his college play. He plays at the College of the Redwoods. Taking a look over at Smith, comes home. This one's chopped over to the second baseman. First baseman makes a play, rifles it to the second baseman, but that's a call safe. Okay, umpire calls him out. So that was an interesting play. It looked like it was going to be an out, but then the ball dropped out of his glove. But ump says that that's an out, and the ball popped out on the transfer. So George Smith is out, and Ethan Wood reaches on a fielder's choice. One out now, and Hayes Edens, the catcher for today's game, steps in. First pitch to him, down low, ball 1. Edens has not been an everyday starter for the Fresno A's, but in the playtime he's gotten, he's been very productive. 4 games for him, .412 average, been on base nearly half the time, and 6 RBIs and has scored 7 times. Second pitch to Eden's taken outside, but called strike 1-1. Standish set. Doesn't take a look at Wood. Comes home. Look to be off speed outside. 2-1. So yeah, I can't stress enough how much difference of temperature difference this is. It is cold and it is foggy up here. A little bit of that ocean breeze as well. That pitch is for sure called strike down the pipe. 2-2 to Edens. But yeah, nice little break for the A's after playing in the heat, Fresno heat that is, but it's about a 40-degree difference, and you can feel it. Anyways, getting down the 2-2 pitch inside, ball 3. So count is full to Edens now. Takes a look at first, quick fire back to first. Wood is in there safely. Standish set on the wave, payoff pitch, waved on and missed. Eaton strikes out. First strikeout for Standish in this game, and 2 outs now in the inning. So here we go. Luke Navad coming up, batting cleanup today for the Fresno A's. He had the game off last game in our loss to the Reading Colt 45s, but back in the lineup, batting cleanup as he usually does, and at third base as well. So in his 8 games, he is batting .333. Call it 1 out of every 3 at bats. He's getting a hit. On base percentage is .429 and 6 RBIs and 9 runs for him. So just continuing the theme of being very productive for the Fresno Athletics this year. And talking about the Crabs as well, they are undefeated to my understanding so far this year. So this is going to be some very stiff competition for the Athletics to contend with. That pitch is called a strike, 1-1 to count. Pitch on the way looked to be off speed, perhaps a changeup, and way outside, 2-1. Todd takes another pitch outside, looked to be close, but called the ball, 3-1. Standish fires in 3-1. Navad swing and a miss, 3-2. Parker Cristall is the on-deck batter for the Fresno A's. Ethan Wood getting a healthy lead off of first as first baseman's not covering, and that ball is taken low by Navad, ball 4. So 2 runners on now, first and second for the A's. Parker Cristall up to bat.
He's a pretty cool designated hitter, Parker Cristall.
He is the DH today, and he has played in roughly half the games. 5 games for him on the season, and the theme continues. A very productive .417 batting average, is 5 RBIs, and has scored 5 times. A lot of talent in that Fresno A's lineup, and we've certainly seen it on display. High-scoring offense. We'll see what they have for the Humboldt Crabs today. First pitch to Parker on the way. He takes strike 1. This little anecdote from pregame right before I went live on the Athletics Instagram, if you're able to catch that.
Parker was taking BP, and he hit one on the top of that giant wall in left field. It hit the yellow, as a matter of fact, which, what are the odds of that? But it just shows how short this ballpark is, but you really need to get under it if you're going to muscle it out of here with how tall that fence is. Crystal swings through that last pitch. It is 0-2 now. Finds himself in a hole early in this at bat. Pitch on the way, swing. Fans so rotate to
San Francisco 7, DJ James, 20-year fan. Welcome home, DJ. Congrats on being named Cal Poly Humboldt's new California, Keenan Moore.
Passionate fans here in Arcata, California, supporting their Humboldt Crabs. Very nice to see. So we go to the bottom of the first, and a local here from Eureka, California, Morris, third baseman, leading things off. On the mound for the A's, it is Cooper King in his second start of the season, as that first pitch from King is a called strike. Speaking of King, he has appeared in 3 games now. This is 4, only 1 start on the year. If I said third start, I meant this is his second start of the season. So 8 innings pitched for him, 10 strikeouts to 5 walks, so 2-to-1 strikeout ratio. Decent opponent batting average of 172, but his ERA is a bit inflated after that last start at 5.25. So looking to get that down today. He's in a 2-1 count here. Pitch on the way to Morris in the dirt. Good pick by Edens. 3-1 is now the count. After changing out balls there, since that one was in the dirt, that infield does look pretty wet. And of course, that's going to be a leadoff walk there for Morris. But speaking of the field conditions, that field is pretty wet. And, you know, since it happens, high temperatures and it's very humid, it's going to stay wet for a while. Seeing that effect right now.
Number 13 from Sacramento State, Michael Perazo.
Field 2 is that infield grass. There's giant lips on that, so we're going to have to watch out and see if there's some interesting bounces on ground balls in the field. That first pitch is swung on and missed, foul tip in the glove. Not swung on and missed, swung, foul tip in the glove. 0-1 is the count to Perazo, shortstop out of Sac State. King is set, pitch on the way high and outside, 1-1. Humboldt crab colors are usually red and blue, but they have a bit of a camo salute to service look to them. Either way, it looks very nice. This one is popped. Is it in fair foul territory? Vaughn gets called off by the shortstop, George Smith, who makes the catch, so that is an out. Sorry about the delay on the call there, folks. Let's take a look real quick. So I have this building in the way of me right now. That is the broadcast booth, and they have me to the side of it, so I have to stand up and take a look over there. But I tell you what, with the foul ball plays over there, I'll try and do my best to track them with this camera. First pitch in there definitely looked like a strike. Cooper King cannot believe that wasn't called a strike, but it is ball one to the new batter. Forsythe is the batter. He is listed as a catcher for Southeastern Missouri State, but he is playing first base for the Crabs today. This one is fouled back 1-1, and I'll have to show you this when I can. It looks like we might have a fire station right behind us, or just an apartment. It looks like a firefighter there behind us, but across the street here, the first base side, he has a giant fishing net for catching potential foul balls. Just another charm of that small town feel here in Arcata. That pitch was a ball, 2-1 now the count. This one is hit to the left fielder, Mikey Ramirez. Calls in for a base hit, though. He's going to throw that into the Nevada at third to keep base runners at bay. First hit of the game for either team goes to Forsythe. Single for him to first base. Morris is now at second. Left-hander Moss is in for the Crabs now. Right fielder actually plays his college ball in the Valley, Delta College. First pitch to him called strike. King takes a look over at second a couple times, now comes home, and that was certainly off speed. A little harder for me to tell what pitches are which from this angle up higher, but looked to be some sort of curve ball or slider. 0-2 is the count now. Pitch is yanked down the right field line. That's going to be an RBI at least for Moss. Here comes the first runner home. Second one is going to hang on at third base. Umpire is tripping the infield. Maybe that was on that big infield lip. On a 0-2 pitch, Moss sends one out to right field, and that is an RBI double for him. As you can hear, that band is excited, and so are the fans celebrating the first run of this ball game.
Number 16,
So first run of the ball game is in, and it goes to the Crabs on that RBI double from Moss. And now we have two runners in scoring position, and the 5-hole hitter is now up Enyart from St. Mary's. King resets here. First pitch is popped way up to Mikey Ramirez in left field. He's under it, and he's got it. Trying to throw it in. No, he won't. That ball is hit too deep to try and challenge that one. So that is going to be a sacrifice fly. RBI. Two down now in the inning. Stays put at second. Couldn't advance on that one, but Forsythe is the runner that comes in to score. 2-0 now, Crabs. Batter now for the Crabs as he swings and misses strike one is the catcher Lombardi. He plays his college ball in SoCal at Fullerton. And yes, Lombardi, just like the legendary Packers head coach. That pitch is a called ball, 1-1. One pitch, swung on and missed, 1-2. King looking for one more strike to get out of this inning and limit the damage at 2 runs here. This one's hit out to right field. Is it going to drop? Right fielder's on the run. He does catch it, and that's the end of the inning. Nice read by Luke Reed there to get that one, and the Athletics are jogging back to the dugout to get back up to the second inning. But Crabs strike first. That is 2 runs for them. They're up early, and the recurring theme of the Athletics getting down early in ball games sticks with them here up in Arcata. So we're going to top to the second to see if the Athletics can do anything to respond. And it is the top of the second inning. Mikey Ramirez digging in to lead things off for the Athletics here. Just wanted to get through that lineup for the Athletics since I didn't cover that in the pregame. Batting leadoff is George Smith at shorts as that first pitch to Mikey was taken for a ball. So leading off is George Smith at short, batting second. Ethan Wood at first, batting third is the catcher Edens as this one goes foul into the street. Judging by the reaction, doesn't look like it hit a car. That's something we'll have to watch out for today. Cleanup, Nevada at third, DH Crystal fifth. Mikey Ramirez, the batter currently, is batting sixth. He takes that for ball 2. Batting seventh is Brian Sanders the second at second base for his third game of action. Luke Ree is in right field batting eighth. And another third gamer here, Tyson Miller, is closing things out in the 9 hole. He is in center field. 2-2 is the count to Ramirez, who has also had a fantastic start to the season for the Fresno Athletics in 9 games, batting .452. That is a team-leading .452. He takes that for ball 3. Getting on base over half the time, 11 RBIs and 9 runs. This one is hit to the shortstop. He gets it on the hop, throws it over to first. That is out number 1 of this inning. to short for Ramirez brings up Sanders. Only 2 games played. This is his 3rd one of the season, but a little bit of a slow start for him. He takes that first pitch for a strike. He has 1 hit through 2 games. It was a double, and although he hasn't hit too much, he does have 4 walks. So he's still been finding ways to get on base. Swing and a miss there for strike 2. Two pitch on the way. It is popped up foul. Is that? Yep, bounces in the street. Some lucky citizen's going to get that ball over there. We'll resume our attention over here. It's still 0-2 count. Sanders' pitch is on the way. That is a slider that, did he check his swing? First base umpire says no. Actually, first base umpire says yes, he checked his swing too. 1-2 pitch is a skied fly ball out to left field, but the left fielder's parked under it, and he's got it. That one was hit a ton vertically, but all it results in is an out. So 8-hole hitter Luke Reed is due up for the Athletics. He has started all games but one, batting .233 with 4 RBIs and 5 runs. Pitch outside, ball 1. So Reed started out the season in center field, but once Tyson Miller joined the team last week, he has moved out to right field, and this one is blooped in between the shortstop and center fielder. That is a 2-out base hit for Luke Reed. That's got to feel good for Reed there, who has been hitting, but most likely not as much as he would like. So here's 9-hole hitter Tyson Miller. Just mentioned that he is now playing center field as opposed to Reed. Reed has moved out to right field. Tyson Miller has been hot to start out here in the 2 games he's played before today. He has 6 hits, one of them being a triple, and he has a couple RBIs, 5 runs. This one is a dribbler to the third baseman who dives, gets it. He has no throw over at first base. Looks to see if he could get Ree at second, but no go there. So 2 outs. The Athletics have something cooking here with a Ree single to center and a infield single for Miller. Just like that, we rotate to the top of the lineup. It is George Smith. First time up, he had a leadoff walk for the Athletics. First pitch to him, taken low for a ball. As mentioned, Smith has been an excellent leadoff hitter and just getting on base in general, getting on base more than half the time, .535 on base percentage. Second pitch to him, swung on and missed, 1-1. Steps in after the swing and a miss. Standish finally finds a sign he agrees on. Takes a couple looks over at Reed, comes home. This one's fouled straight back at the screen. Prompts a couple of fans to react. And 1-2's the count now. Standish set once again after that foul ball comes home. That one is outside, 2-2. But he covering seconds, so Standish goes home. This is way outside of that off speed, 3-2. So interesting payoff pitch coming up here. There is an empty base for George Smith to fill, but of course Standish does not want to walk him. George Smith will certainly be looking for anything to hit right now. Here it comes. That one is right down the pipe. It is a huge back game to get out of this inning. 2 hits for the Athletics doesn't bear anything. That is 2 runners left on base for them, similar to last inning. So 4 runners left on base already for the Athletics, and they're going to head back out on defense. The Crabs looking to extend their lead. Real quick in between innings, what this field is like. So there is the street above the field, and let's pivot this camera up a little bit. There we go. That is the person I was talking about that has the fishing net for potential foul balls. Super cool. He gets a preview of the game. As we focus our attention back on the game. There we go. So we are in the bottom of the second inning now. First pitch on that, or first call on that pitch is a strike, rather, excuse me. 1-0's the count. And we flip over to the Crabs lineup, and it is Suarez, the second baseman out of Nevada, leading things off. Second pitch to him. Third pitch to him, rather, 2-1. This one fouled straight back to the screen, 2-2. My hoodie on because it is cold here. Anyways, 2-2 is the count. King gets into his windup, comes home, grounded right to him. Good play by him. Scoops it, throws it over to Ethan Wood for out number 1. Those hot shots on the mound can be a bit scary, but King handled it very nicely. He is already back on the rubber, ready to get this next batter, or this next at bat started. Rogers, the DH, is now the batter from Minot State, one of the few players for the Crabs that plays out of state. His college ball is in North Dakota. First pitch to him was a ball. Second pitch from King is popped up, foul, out of play. That foul ball, it's 1-1. Here comes King with his pitch. That's outside, 2-1. Two-one pitch down low, 3-1. And that is a walk for Cooper King. 2 innings and no clean innings. Runner on board here as Rogers walks. That's King's second walk of the game. And it'll be the 9-hole hitter, center fielder. Plays his college ball down in San Francisco at the University of San Francisco. So King now working from the stretch with one out. Gets set. We'll see if he takes a peek over at first. No, he doesn't. Comes home. Pitch way up high. 1-0. Oh no, pitch inside. Reed turned away from that one to avoid getting hit. 2-0. This one way inside once again, but Reed does a good job avoiding hit by pitch. 3-0. So hitters count for him. We'll see if he has the green light. You know, talking about the dimensions again, really short dimensions, but of course, number one, the height of the wall is one thing to overcome, because this one swung on and missed 3-1. But additionally, these cold temperatures are definitely going to kill some of the momentum that these baseballs would have from off the bat. We'll see if anybody can muscle one out of here, as that one is a call for back-to-back walks for King. Runners on first and second, one out for the Crabs. When we go back to the top of the lineup, it is going to be the third baseman Morris who walked last innings. Taking his time looking in the sign. He has it now. Gets set, looks over at second. Now coming home. First pitch to Morris is taken up high for a ball. Once again, taking a peek over at second. Now on the way. That one is another ball. So King trying to find the groove here again, as he has been throwing a lot of balls. Just a little interesting story from pregame. I got here pretty early and, of course, did the live video talking with some players. This one swung on and missed 2-1. But I talked with an old gentleman, and his name escapes me, which is unfortunate because I'd like to talk about his dad's name. But he had mentioned to me, he's like, "Have you seen this before?" And he reached to his pocket and grabbed out this protected golden pass. And I had seen it before. This one's hit. 6-0, that's a base hit. Roll in, goes over the guy's head, but home, and that'll keep the third base runner at bay. But it is now bases loaded for the Crabs after back-to-back walks and a single for Morris. A bit of a situation here for the team. Said, "Oh my goodness, that is a lifetime pass for MLB games," and sure enough, it was. His dad played baseball in the MLB in the 30s, early 40s, and then he was one of many players that ended up going to serve in World War II. And unfortunately, he was injured in World War II and could not continue his baseball career when he came back, but fantastic accolades, and it was just awesome talking baseball with this older gentleman with all of the baseball knowledge he has, seeing his father's name and legends that he met back in the day. So getting back to this at bat, 0-2 is the count, one out, bases loaded. Brazzo's last time up, he flew out, and he fouls this one back to the screen, count remains 0-2. 0-2 pitch once again. This one is skied in the infield. Who has it? George Smith says he has it. Yes, he does. 2 outs. It's a big out there for the A's after 3 straight batters reach base. And now there is 2 outs in this inning. Forsythe is up his first time up. He did get a base hit, and he also did score the second run of the first inning. King fires the first pitch to him, looked to be off speed in the dirt, good block by Hayes, 0-1. Speaking of a catcher, Hayes with a good block. That has been a bit of an issue for the Athletics in the past couple of games. It's been either wild pitches or fastballs that have led to runs coming across the plate for the opposing team. So certainly something for the A's to work on cleaning up moving forward. This pitch up high, ball 2. As we have a little bit of jeering going on with the local crowd here. Nothing malicious at all, but just your classic jeering. There's a swing and a miss for the first strike of this at bat. 2-1 is the count. Forsythe. Two-one pitch on the way, fouled back to the screen, and Cooper King gets back into this at bat. 2-2 is the count. And there's Coach Wyatt Featherson into view, looking to get the foul ball. Home plate umpire says, "No worries, I got it." King sets now, not paying attention to any of the base runners with bases loaded, just trying to get this batter out. That one is spiked to the backstop. But here's something that's interesting to talk about this ballpark as well. As we saw, that runner did not come home there. That backstop here is really short, so it is going to be tough for base runners to score at home, which might benefit the A's here. As I mentioned, they've had issues with just exactly what we saw right there over the past couple of games. But with that spiked ball, it is 3-2 the count base, and that is going to be ball 4. Base runners were already on the move. That is going to be a run for the Crabs. Others is three is the versus the second. And Forsythe takes it to base. That is the third walk of this inning in 6 batters, and here is a conference in the mountain. Coach Ethan Winter out there to have a chat with him. I'll tell you what, folks, talking about those cold temps once more. I went ahead and bought a Coca-Cola, and it doesn't feel like it's warmed up whatsoever. So take a look down the right field line. Somebody is stretching for the Fresno Athletics bullpen, but going off of memory of these first 10 games for the Athletics, if a starting pitcher is getting himself in trouble, Coach Wyatt Featherstone is usually trusting his guys and tries to extend them as much as possible. It's most likely Cooper King will remain in this game, but of course that is dependent on how things go here in the second inning. This one's ripped out to right center field, and that can be it's pretty good. Slam run for balls. Now that was up.
I saw that. I was like, oh, there we go.
So I have to assume that was 350 feet right there. And wowzers, grand slam there for Moss. So out the window goes my comments about balls maybe have a different difficulty traveling in this cold weather, as that one went a long ways out of here. And I reckon that might have been the announcer's jinx by me talking about the pitching situation. But as we reset here, it is now bases cleared, 2 outs, and it is 7-0. Count here 2-0 to the new batter, Enyart, who had a sac fly RBI in the first inning. Pitch in the dirt there, good block. Might have missed the swing there. Actually, there we go. There's a swing. 3-2 is going to be the countdown. I don't know where I was looking or thinking. I was trying to look down at the scorebook and everything, and I reckon missed a couple of pitches, but full count it is here for Enyart. And here's the payoff pitch outside, ball 4. Jovial mood after that grand slam, no doubt about it. And they're certainly looking here right now.
Number 28, Nico Lombardi.
So Lombardi, the new batter here, pitching the dirt, ball 1. Fouled right back to the screen, 1-1. King sets now and fires, swing and a miss. 1-2. For the first time in a few batters, Cooper King is ahead in the count, 1-2. Looking to get out of this monster inning for the Crabs. This one's hitting field pretty well. No, can't get it. He backs, misses. Mike Ramirez on the run. Ball goes to the wall. He backs it up, throws it to George Smith, and incoming to score is Enyart in first base. So yet another hit here. Already gets that. Suarez up to bat now for the Crabs as he swings and misses. 0-1 is the count. So this nightmare inning continuing for Cooper King. Lombardi is at second base, and he loops the curveball in too high, 1-1. On the count, pitch on the way. Did he check his swing? They check with the first base umpire. He says no swing, 2-1 the count. Swing and a miss there. Foul tip in the glove, 2-2. King shakes his head. No, the time is called. Don't know if that's the umpire himself. Nope. Points to the batter. Didn't like how long King was taking. Takes a breather. Steps back into the batter's box now. King quickly gets set here. He is ready. Pitch on the way is foul. Straight right back behind him. That means 2-2 on that. Good pump fake there by the percussion section of the band. He hit that drum hard. This one shot out to right field. Base hit. Is that going to be another run? Yeah, Luke Reed bobbles that one out of his glove, trying to get the transfer throw in there quickly. And that is yet another RBI hit. This time Suarez gets it done. And Lombardi comes in for this is truly incredible to see. I'm taking a look at my scorebook, and 7 out of the 9 batters in this lineup have scored in the second inning. That first pitch misses outside for a ball, 1-0. Off speed gets him out in front of it, 1-1. Fox now for the Crabs is Rogers, the DH. His first time up was this inning, as a matter of fact. So they batted through the lineup, and he walked. Another swing and a miss off speed, back to back. Steps out of the box to take a breather, steps back in. King is ready. Suarez, big secondary lead, but doesn't go anywhere. That pitch misses up, 2-2. This one down low, 3-2 now, full count. So yet another payoff pitch, another chance to get out of this inning. That is a swing and a miss, and this inning finally ends. A painful inning for the Athletics. That is 7 minutes giving up there in the bottom of the second inning, and it is a massive 9-0 deficit here after only 2 innings. Top of the third, A's looking to find a way to claw back somehow. Bad news for them is they're down 9 runs. Good news for them is it's only the third inning, so plenty of opportunity left. Ethan Wood is the leadoff batter for the Fresno A's this inning. First pitch to him is a called strike. Second pitch is hit down the third base line, foul ball, 0-2. Fastball yanked outside, 1-2. Has been one of the most productive hitters for the Athletics. He is leading the team in RBIs with an impressive 16. Wood takes that one down. Another ball, 3-2 full count to him. Looking for anything here to potentially spark that A's dugout. Swing and a miss, though, on this one. He strikes out. One down for the top of the third. Hayes Edens digs in now, the catcher. It's pitched to him, called ball 1-0. Second pitch swung on and missed, 1-1. Last time up for Edens, he struck out swinging. Standish already has 4 strikeouts in this game, so solid outing he's put together so far. Edens hits this one out to left field, but this ballpark's going to hold it in as that one's caught, 2 outs.
Third baseman Luke Luzon.
Luke Navad up to bat now for the A's. First time up for him, he drew a walk. First pitch to him, taken, strike 1 on the inside part of the plate. Standish in the windup on the way, fouled, way out of here. Hits the building across the street. 2's the count now. Navad stepping back in. Looks like it hit his bat. Foul ball, 0-2 still. Standish quickly with 0-2. That is definitely a curveball, but misses outside, 1-2. Standish is 1-2, taken high, 2-2. So Navad working that count once again. Pitch foul, straight back, but bounces into the stands. Very interesting. There is some netting here, but it's pretty old and very stiff. So that ball went straight back into the screen, but you'd expect it to bounce off almost on the field, but actually skipped over into the stands. Navad whoops this one in the center field, but he is under it. There you go. 1-2-3 inning for the Humboldt Crabs on defense. So after 2 base runners, 2 innings for the Athletics, they go down in third. And we now go to the bottom of the third, but the Crabs looking for even more runs.
Bottom of the third.
Crabs back up to bat. It is the bottom of the lineup. Reed, he hits this one foul out of play. Take a look at Reed's first at bat. He was one of the many walks last inning and scored as well. Cooper King still does remain out on the mound, hoping to put together a solid inning of work here. One is the count to Reed. Miller quickly running back to center field. This one almost hits Reed, but quick reaction from him to avoid getting hit. Miller looked to be shaded towards right center field, but jogged right back to dead center. And that is a walk for Cooper King. Reed digs in at first base, lead off, walk. George Smith give it to King, tell him to just keep things calm on the mound. 6 walks for Cooper King with 2 innings of work so far. Obviously not the day he or the Athletics wanted. This one's fouled way out of play, 0-1 by the leadoff batter. Morris 1 for 1 with a single and a walk, and he has scored both times so far. This pitch outside, 1-1. Morris taking his time digging back into the box. Now he's in. King is set and on the way with 1-1. This one's hit out to right center field. That's a base hit. That's going to be third base for Reed. Morris slams on the base, gets back to first base. So, yet another hit for Morris, 2 on the day, and Reed goes to third. So, base runners are on the corners with no outs. As I mentioned earlier, there were some people stretching without really but right now to see somebody throwing off the mound. Wish I had some binoculars to tell you, but we'll find out once he makes his appearance. So new batter is Perazo. First pitch, hit foul out of play. 1. Reminds me of what I was going to mention earlier with the band section. The guy playing the drums will bang his drum whenever the ball hits the ground, and that caught me off guard earlier because it sounded like the ball was a lot closer than it was. Anyways, yet another foul ball. So quickly 0-2 is the count to Perazo, who is the only guy to not get on base here so far for the Crabs. 2 flyouts for him. Swing and a miss there for him. He strikes out. Tried to hold it up, but was too late, went through, and there's the first out of this inning. First baseman digs in. He is 1 for 1 with a single and a walk, and he as well has scored twice. This one fouled straight back to the screen, 0-1. One of 2 players to score twice so far in this game. That is Morris as well. But as mentioned, an astonishing 7 batters out of the 9 in this lineup scored in the second inning alone. Curveball really slow, but couldn't droop back down. Looked like King was making the motion of his release and perhaps just didn't quite catch it on the release. 1-1 the count. Pitch on the way, fouled way out of play. That might be a car. Nope. Thankfully, somehow found some asphalt. 1-2. I applaud these people for parking so close to the ballpark because they are putting their cars in danger. I've seen windshields get shattered before when I was playing ball. That curveball dug out by Eaton's in the dirt. 2-2 now to count. Batter takes his time getting into the box now. He is set. King is set as well. Here comes 2-2 to Forsythe. Fouled way out of play once again. And finds the street once again. Two is skied up in the air. This one is taken by Miller. That's an out. And here comes the throw home. It's offline though. Eaton's cuts it up, and the runner goes to second. Get another run. 10. Get it. And so that'll go down as a sack fly. Side, yet another RBI on the day. And Moss is up to bat now. First pitch outside, 1-0. Swing and a miss on a pitch in the dirt. There goes the runner to third. It gets away from Edens. So running 90 feet away now for the Crabs. The runner is Morris at third. The batter, Moss, digs back in. He's the right fielder. As mentioned previously, plays his ball in the valley at Delta College. Healthy swing and a miss there from him. 1-2 is the count. One pitch away from the end of the third, and there it is. That's a strikeout. Edens puts the tag on Moss just to be sure, and the third inning. But yet another run comes on, scored, and it is a double-digit margin now, 10-0, as we go to the top of the fourth. Peak in between innings. Yeah, not there, it's focused. Now there. back out, get it back on the action. The leadoff batter for the top of the fourth is Parker Crystal. And first pitch he sees is skied up in the air close to me, but looks like it's going to make its way to the street. So 0-1 the count to Parker, who, as mentioned, he's played in half the games this year, but incredibly productive. Taking a peek at his on-base percentage, .636, well over half the time he's getting on base. But so far today for him, he struck out to end the first inning. And he finds himself in danger of striking out once again, 0-2 the count, as Standish is having himself a very nice start. And did he check his swing? Umpire makes the call himself. That's a strikeout. 2 strikeouts here for Crystal, 1 out in the inning, and Mikey Ramirez coming up. Mikey grounded out to shortstop last time he was up. The everyday left fielder for the Athletics has had himself a great 10-game stretch to start the season. He takes his first pitch, called strike on the outside part of the plate. Take a look at Standish so far today. That was his 5th strikeout of the game in 4 innings. Mikey hits this one down the right field line. It's going to drop in for a base hit. Thinking about 2, not really. He'll get back into first, but a little bit of something good to build on here for the Athletics as Ramirez loops in an opposite field single. So 3rd hit of the game for the Athletics. And they will certainly use all the hits they can get as they have to make up what seems to be an impossible margin. Batter now is Sanders, the second baseman. First pitch, fouled way out of play, 0-1. Standish quick throw over to first. Mikey slides back in safely. Always something you got to keep an eye on, of course, with either hand, but with a left-handed pitcher, that is something you absolutely have to be aware of at all times. Takes a peek over at Mikey, goes home, pitch outside, 1-1. One pitch misses either low or outside, or maybe both. 2-1. Sanders' first time up, he flew out to left field, so 0-1 on the day. Standish steps off, takes a breather. So will Sanders in the meantime. Now Sanders is back in. Standish's pitch on the way. It is a swing and a miss there for Sanders. He saw that ball breaking down, trying to hold it up, but it was too late, 2-2. Pitch up high, 3-2. So full count from Sanders now. And potential for yet another base runner in this inning for the Athletics. Key for them in this potential comeback bid is to not try and get it all back. Back pick attempt over to first is safe as Sanders strikes out there. It's now 2 outs in this inning. But getting back to my point about the comeback attempt, it's just piecing these runs together 1 inning at a time. A 7-run inning is typically an outlier in the game of baseball. That's very hard to do. Krabs, of course, did it in the second inning. Mike Ramirez is running down the second. He is run down very easily. That is an out ball end of the inning.
No,
So the end of the base runner on base athletics is 5 in this game, and none of them come in the score. And they are still getting
We're sorry, the
started.
first shot out was hard to read. I can't read or write. I'm going to go with the other. So going to be calling.
Bottom of the fourth coming up here for the Athletics, and this view taken out at left field, talking about that awesome element they have here at Arcata Ballpark, and you can see the cars whizzing by in the background. That's very close. Left field fence. As we zoom back out, get back to here, pick up action in bottom of the fourth. One is hit well out to center field. Miller's on the run. He's looking at it. It's over the wall. Not very well. Could be close to 400. Get close to that 94 dimension. That is another. Second this game for the Crabs. That was Enyart, the left fielder, and 4 innings, and all 4 innings have featured runs for the Crabs. 11-0 now. Doesn't get much better than that for your team. Lead off home run to start things off. First pitch in there for a strike. There is a new pitcher to report for the Athletics. I cannot make out his number at this time, so I will let you know when I do. That off-speed pitch spiked in the dirt for a ball. 1-1 is the count to the new batter, Lombardi. Lombardi has flown out to right field and has an RBI double on the day. That pitch is in there for a strike as well. 1-2. I do believe the pitcher on the mound is Gio Casas for the Athletics. This one is skied in the air into shallow center field. Who's got it? Who's got it? Wow, George Smith makes a very interesting catch there. Almost like backhanded it, beforehanded it. It was very strange, but it got the job done. That is out number 1. The fly out to George Smith, the shortstop, leads Suarez up to bat now for the Crabs, as this one is fouled back 0-1. Suarez plays his college ball in Reno at University of Nevada. He plays second base. And this one hits him. That's the first hit by pitch here of this ball game. So yet another base runner for the Crabs. Suarez at first. Here comes the DH Rogers. Rogers has walked and struck out this game. First pitch to him, check swing, he went. Probably was a strike on the call anyways, 0-1. Next pitch in the dirt. Eden scoops it up, looks over at first, but no throw, 1-1. Looks over at first, throws over at first, but safe. Suarez is at first. Pitch in there called strike 1-2. Be a slider, missed low, 2-2. I can confirm that is Gio Casas on the mound. Here's the pitch, runner on the go, throws by Edens down the second, gets wide of Sanders, wide of George Smith, but the runner's going to stay put as Miller gets the ball. 2-2 is now the count to Rogers as he digs back in. Suarez is safe at second base with a stolen base. Swing and a miss there. Strikeout for Casas. First of the game for him, and we'll go to the 9-hole hitter Reed now. Recap of Cooper Teaton's day. It's certainly not one he's going to want to look at. 3 complete innings for him, 7 hits, 10 runs, all of them earned, 3 strikeouts, and 6 walks. Pitch down low, ball 1 to Reed. Been an interesting day for Reed so far. It's 2 walks for him, and he's scored twice. But the interesting part is how many times a pitch has been inside, and he's nearly been hit. But he's been a great escape artist on those pitches, making sure he doesn't get hit. That one was fouled back to the screen, 1-1 now the count. Pitch on the way from Casas swung on and missed 1-2. Casas gets set, 1 strike away from ending this inning, but that one misses upstairs. He's not happy about that, 2-2. Casas will try it again with 2-2 count. Spikes this one, gets away from Edens. That's easily third base for Suarez. It's a full count now, and Reed is 1 ball away from having his third walk of the game. And just as a reminder for folks that may not be too familiar with baseball, a walk does not count as an official at bat. So technically, Reed is 0 for 0 today. But he gets rung up on that one, so he's 0 for 1 now. Backwards speed for Casas, and the Athletics are out of the inning. But they did give them one more run, so they are down 11-0 as we go to the top of the fifth. On the pitch, Luke Reed is back now. He was up to bat in the top of the fourth, but Mikey Ramirez was caught stealing at second base. So Luke Reed comes back in with a fresh at bat. First pitch to him looked a bit high, but called a strike 0-1. Second pitch down in the dirt, taken for a ball. 21 to count to him now. Reed dribbles this one over to third base, who gets it over the first. Throw a bit high, but the first baseman has it wrangled, and that is out number one. So Reed is now 1 for 2 on the day. Did have a single in his first at bat, but that ground out to not fifth, excuse me. Ground out to third will now bring up Miller. I say fifth because 5 is the position for or the number designated for third base. Anyways, Miller up to bat, pitch way up high. Looked to be a bit of chin music, but he dodges it out of the way, 1-0. Miller also has a single. He is one of 3 hits for the Athletics, all of them being singles. That one outside, 2-0. As mentioned earlier in the broadcast, Miller has had a great start with the team so far this year. 6 hits in 2 games. Well, we'll make it 7 now because he has one in this game. As he shoots this one over the third baseman into left field, and just like that, that's the 8th base hit for him in 3 games. Incredible production from him so far, and certainly a bright spot for the Athletics in what has been a dull game on their end.
George Smith.
2 for 2, Miller now with those 2 singles, and we are back at the top of the lineup. It is George Smith. 0 for 1 today with a walk, and he struck out looking. First pitch down, ball 1. Competitive pitch by Standish there, but just missed the zone. George Smith back in. Miller thinking about second base, but with the lefty on the mound, might stay put. He does, and Standish throws this one, almost gets George Smith in the ankle, but is able to avoid it. So 2-0 is the count. Smith, jam shot up the middle. The shortstop, it goes under his legs, but second baseman gets it. And George Smith is safe at second, but the force out, or he's safe at first. 4 stops out at second. That was a very close play there. Very weird play. as it looked like the shortstop was going to field it and throw it over, but somehow got through his legs. Second baseman touched up, hit it over to first. But anyways, runner's still on first base, but this time one more out. And Ethan Wood, the lefty first baseman, this one bounces away from him, and George Smith gets to second. But as mentioned, Ethan Wood, the lefty first baseman, now in at the batter's box, looking to get the first run in for the Athletics. That is the first base runner in scoring position for the Athletics since the second inning. That was Luke Reed after his single and Miller single. Chopped foul by Wood, 1-1. One pitch misses. No, it does not. Late strike call on the outside part of the plate, 1-2. 1-2 pitch from Standish, swung on and missed. That's a strikeout, and that is another goose egg for the Athletics. So Crabs are cruising right now as they get to the bottom of the fifth inning, up 11-0, and I'm sure antsy for some home runs.
Left down.
You may be wondering why I hit the camera.
For him to get the top of the order, number 9.
Where that grass is next to the cars is where that home run landed from Moss earlier, the grand slam that is. And that is set further back from the fence. It's not right behind the fence, that is further back. And we take a look at this dimension down here, 368, and we look over there. So that might have been close to a 400-foot shot. Very impressive. But we'll cut it back to the action now. Casas's pitch is dribbled up the middle. Sanders on the run, throws it over to first. Good pick from Ethan Wood. That is out number 1 of this inning. That batter was the one-hitter Morris. He grounds out to Sanders, the second baseman. And here comes the shortstop Perazo, who is 0 for 3, still trying to join his fellow teammates in getting on base. He is the only player that has not gotten on base for the Crabs. 0 for 3 with a 2 flyouts and a strikeout, that is. This first pitch in the dirt, ball 1. Gio Casas is still the pitcher on the mound for the Athletics, and there's a good chance that he might be tasked with eating up a lot of innings with how the game got out of hand so early. That pitch is in there for a strike, 1-1. This one's hit out to left field. That's going to get in front of Mikey Ramirez for a base hit. So there you go. Perazo joins the party, single for him, and that is now official. Every batter in this lineup has gotten on base for the Crabs. So with one out, Forsythe is up to bat now. The first baseman. He has a single, a walk, and a sac fly. So 1 for him on the day. He chops this one foul back to the screen, 0-1. One pitch is taken outside. 1-1. This one skied a mile in the sky. George Smith is out to get it. So is Mikey Ramirez. Ramirez calls off George Smith and secures it for out number 2. What the hang time was on that one, because that one got really high.
50-50. Now to play for the Crabs, number 6, Sutter Haas.
So the runner Perazo still stays at first off of that fly ball. It was too shallow. And here comes Moss, Mr. Grand Slam. As a matter of fact, he has 2 extra base hits today, a double and a home run with 5 RBIs on the day. First pitch to him is a ball as Casas checks on Perazo over at first base. He's in there safely. That pitch called ball, 2-0. Casas looking to get back into this at bat, and that's a good start for that. Foul ball to the screen, 2-1. Curveball misses just inside, 2-2. The 3-1 pitch misses up and outside. That's ball 4. So runners on first and second now for the Crabs. That is the first walk for Casas in this game. And Enyart, the left fielder, up to bat now. Sacrifice fly for him as well as a walk, and he has scored twice. Ethan Wood was covering first base, but now he has moved back, and the infielders are playing back, all of them as well, with 2 outs. Second pitch chopped, foul, 1-1. Casas 1-1 pitch, looked to be a slider, but it misses just outside, 2-1. Snow, now he agrees on the pitch, gets set. Coming home, 2-1. That's a slider that time. Umpire says yes on the swing, 2-2. Enyart frustrated with going around there. You can tell visibly by his body language. Grabs some dirt, resets, gets back in the box. 2-2's the count. 2 outs. Runner's already on the go, and this one's fouled off, so he will be going back to second base. That was quite an early jump over there by Peraza. Sanders looks to go over to second, but doesn't. That pitch is up high, 3-2. 2 outs. Most likely, those infielders will not be trying to cover for a pickoff. Just want Casas to focus on getting this batter out. As here comes the payoff pitch. Runner's on the move. It's in the dirt, ball 4. So that doesn't even matter that a double steal was on. They had those bases already. And once again, the ground count of the base is loaded. They've done that a couple times today.
Down.
If I do remember correctly, in that second inning, they had bases loaded, and then Forsythe got walked, so bases were loaded again, and then that's when that grand salami happened from Moss. First pitch to the new batter Lombardi was called strike, 0-1. He misses outside, 1-1. Lombardi 1 for 3 today, a couple of flyouts, but he does have himself an RBI single, and he did score. One of 7 people that scored in that second inning. Good scoop from Edens off the ground, but that is a ball, 2-1. Casas' 2-1 is hit right up the middle. Is he going to get through? No. George Smith gets it, throws on the run, and gets the out at first. So that is the end of this inning. And for the first time in this ballgame, the Athletics have not allowed a run, but still find themselves getting blanked 11-0. And we go to the top of the 6th.
7.3.
Officially set 1 minute. light in the sky, twilight sky, but those lights are taking over the field here, very prominent. Nice looking here in the dusk hours in Arcata rather. And the temperature right now, 51 degrees, certainly feels colder. A little bit of a sea breeze, and of course that fog I mentioned earlier. So new inning begins here for the Athletics, and the first batter here is Hayes Edens as he grounds this to third baseman. It's in fair territory, but he cannot get out at the throw. That is a very long ground out for him.
Call for 50-50.
So it's now one down. Luke Navad digging in to the batter's box. First pitch on the way is a chopper check swing to the pitcher, and he's going to easily toss that one over to the first baseman. Quickly 2 outs in this inning. G1 there on the play. Parker Crystal coming up to the plate. We're going to try and get a new number for you on that pitcher on the mound for the Crabs. First, we'll take a look at Standish's day. Very good, very effective. 5 innings as Crystal takes that for ball 1. 5 innings, 4 hits, 7 strikeouts. He did walk 2, but most importantly, a 0 in the runs column for him. And a lot of cheering going on for the Crab mascot. That pitch is a strike, 1-1. We'll try and get him in view here when there's a break in play. Heard a fan say Krusty, so I'm going to assume that's the mascot's name. That ball was bounced in the dirt, gets to the backstop. Mikey Ramirez will go fetch it. Count is 2-1. Crystal. This one is hammered down the left field line, but foul into the Crabs bullpen. 2-2 the count. So the new pitcher, number 25, Jacobs for Crabs, and he is 1 pitch away from a 1-2-3 inning to start his outing here. That is a half swing and a miss there for Crystal. Strike 3, so 3 up, 3 down for the Crabs and Jacobs. That is the end of the 6th inning for the Athletics. The bottom of the 6th coming up for the Crabs. And just an interesting note, I don't know if we're playing with the mercy rule, but we have in games like Chansey, so I presume that might be the case here today, but find out. 6, and some might call it garbage time, but for the Crabs, I'm sure they're itching for more runs as this is hit right to Mikey Ramirez. He hardly has to move, and he catches that for out number 1.
Number 4, designated hitter, Parker Rogers.
That was Suarez that flew out to Mikey Ramirez. Up comes the DH Rogers. I was taking a look at the lineup. Very interesting here, actually. Of course, it could be whatever a team wants, but just looking at where some positions are batting, ordinarily you would have middle infielders batting leadoff, but third baseman is the one leading off for the Crabs here, and the shortstop is second. Second baseman's all the way down at 7. That's not too surprising, but usually you have a middle infielder with good speed in that leadoff position. That's not the case for the Crabs, and additionally, their DH is all the way down batting 8th. So those are some things that caught my eyes, but clearly it's working for the Crabs as they are up massively in this one. That one is chopped foul by Rogers. 2-2 is now the count. Mikey Ramirez has been busy in that outfield. He's caught at least 3 fly balls, but he's also had to make some runs to go catch up with some that drop in for a single or towards the wall, and also just in general backing up people. That's a strikeout for Rogers, and yet another strikeout for Casas. That is his third one, so not too bad for him. Job by Casas settling things down here for the A's, but of course a little too late here. Reed tries to drop down a bunt, but it goes foul. So 0-1 is the count to him as he starts out his 4th plate appearance. He's 0-1 today with a strikeout, but 2 walks scored twice. That pitch misses either low or outside, 1-1. That one does clip Reed this time. You hardly ever see that. That one actually started out so far inside. It was a slider that broke behind him and clipped his heel. Very strange on that one. I mentioned how much pitchers have been with Reed, but now he finally does get by pitch. That's his 3rd time getting on base. Here comes the lefty top of the lineup hitter, Morris. He's 2 for 3 today, 2 singles. First pitch to him called strike. Chopped up the middle, George Smith on the run, and it goes off the heel of his glove. Looked to be a tough play, but that's likely going to be ruled as an error for him. Brooks might have had that one beat out with his speed alone. But George Smith sensed the urgency in that one and just overran it. So now it's runners on first and second. Reed at second, Morris at first. Barrazo up to bat. He got a hit last time he was up. This time he won't. Sanders fields the ground ball, throws over to first, and out of the inning are the Athletics. So they've put together back-to-back innings on defense of not allowing and will be up at the top of the 7th inning trying to get some runs on the board. Could potentially be the last half inning of action if we do have right, top of the seventh inning, A's up to bat. It's going to be 6, 7, 8. Ramirez, Sanders, Reed. So Mikey Ramirez steps into the batter's box, takes the first pitch outside, ball one. Mikey is 1 for 2 today. He has a single and he grounded out to short. Here is the second pitch to him outside, ball two. There's a nice bit of purplish hue in the sky tonight with that fog and the sun setting. Very nice. Very nice view.
And I hate to say it, but it's last call for alcohol.
That pitch is a ball.
Call for alcohol.
He's certainly looking for something to build off of just for morale, I reckon, and also for the potential mercy rule. I wish I did know, and I would certainly tell you, but I just don't know if that's a situational thing or if we just play with the mercy rule all season. But anyways, Mikey is at first, so leadoff base runner for the Athletics. 4-pitch walk to him. Here comes Brian Sanders.
Now, second baseman Brian Sanders.
Sanders has flew out to left field and struck out, so 0 for 2 on the day from him. His first pitch he sees is upstairs, ball one. We'll check out first base over there to see if Ramirez is planning on going. It might be just a situation of got nothing to lose, down 11, might as well try and swipe some bags. But pitcher seems wise to it. Jacobs throws over to first. Ramirez slides back in safely. Jacobs comes home, pitch, called strike, looked to be a bit inside, and Sanders is wondering where the heck that caught the plate. But anyways, 1-1. Does he check his swing? No. Umpire flat out calls that a strike, 1-2. Pitch on the way down low, ball two. I was thinking about making a comment here. Of course, the Crabs are up 11 runs, but you never want to skimp out on execution. So I'm just wondering here if Jacobs is going to focus on pitching low in the zone here to try and induce a ground ball and get 2 outs for one batter. Catcher fakes the back pick, goes back to the pitcher with the throw. 3-2 full count for Sanders. Payoff pitch rings up Sanders. Backwards K, 1 out. So in the batter's box steps Luke Reed, right fielder for the Athletics, 1 for 2 single, and he grounded out to third. As he fouls this one, the ballpark. That's one of the dangers of going by this ballpark, no doubt. Jacobs checks on Ramirez over at first. He's safe. The count remains 0-1 to Reed. Jacobs is now set, and here comes the pitch. Ramirez stays at first. Reed watches that ball go upstairs, 1-1. That purple hue in the sky is gone. It's getting darker now, and those lights are really taking over the field. Weird hop off the left of the infield, but great play by the third baseman. That call is still going to be out at second base. That ball popped out of the second baseman's glove on the transfer. Yeah, so as mentioned earlier in this broadcast, there is a very prominent lip on the infield grass all around this infield. And we saw it in action there, taking quite a weird hop on a third baseman, had to quickly snap his glove to the backhand side and made an excellent play on that to get the out.
Number 4, Tyson Miller.
So that's a fielder's choice for Reed. He takes first base. Ramirez out at second on that one. 2 down now in this inning, and Miller is up to bat. Miller once again continuing his hot start with the team. 8 hits through 3 games. He has 2 of those hits today. Reminding me almost of like a Luis Arias type for the Padres in regards to just getting hits wherever it may be, taking the ball wherever it needs to go, and just splashing singles around. Count to him is 2-0. Jacobs comes home, pitch misses low, 3-0 is the count to Miller. Pitch up, misses upstairs. It's a 4-pitch walk for Miller. He'll take first. On to second goes Reed. So this is the third time in the game the Athletics have had runners, multiple runners on base, that is, first and second. Miller is 3 for 3 getting on base today, and we go back to the top of the lineup. It is George Smith, the shortstop. George still searching for a base hit today. He has walked, struck out, and fielder's choice. First pitch to him misses upstairs, ball 1. So Jacobs looking like he's struggling to find that strike zone a little bit right now. It hasn't been too much of an issue for either him or Standish. This one's fouled out of the ballpark onto the street. And that did hit something. I might have heard that through my mic. Pitch on the way, hit out to left field pretty well, but the left field is going to be under it, and that is topped.
No runs, no hit, no errors, 2 left on base. As we head into the bottom of the 7th, the score remains 11-0 in favor of Fresno.
Field, so it does look like we're going to keep playing baseball here.
Congratulations on your
Do not go anywhere. We're going to go to
and now
7.
fans are turning
11-0.
the Crabgrass band and their rendition.
Well, I wish I didn't mute the audio there. I'm sure you saw at the bottom of your screen, but Since we're going from top to seventh to bottom to seventh, they did just take me out to the ball game, and it was really cool to see. Not one person wasn't singing right there, and just once again showing the great tight knit community they have here around the game of baseball. Casas is still in the game. 1-0 is the count to the new hitter. I'll get his name in 1 second, just updating the score pylon. There we go. 2-0 is the pitch, or the count now. The new batter for the Crabs is the first baseman Forsythe, who bats in the 3-hole. Oh, 2-0 pitch in there, called strike. 2-1 now count. So this is the 4th inning of work right now for Casas. Chops foul, 2-2. Brief pause there. Forsythe back in the batter's box. Casas is ready and fires home the pitch. Gets him swinging on a changeup. Really nice there. Strikeout for him and 1 out.
Number 6.
And that is Mr. Grand Slam, who busted this game wide open in the 2nd inning as he hits a towering shot down the left field line. Mikey Ramirez can't get to it. It's a foul ball. So he'll step back in with the 0-1 count. Takes that pitch. Ball 1-1. This one is fouled. Looks like it'll get out of play, but it is absolutely out of my line of sight with the broadcast booth next to me. 1-2 is the count. Casas with the 1-2 pitch, yanked way foul. My goodness, he got a hold of that. He was so far out in front of that. I've never seen that before. If he straightened that one out, that might have been another home run for him, but it is an incredibly foul ball. Count remains 1-2 to him, and he fouls this one again. He is just losing balls everywhere getting out of this ballpark. Another 1-2, and he does a nice job getting out of the way of getting hit there, 2-2. And I tell you what, usually I have to worry about my laptop getting too hot with that Fresno heat, but now it's getting pretty chilly. Well, after a quick 0-2 count here, he has worked a full count. They check with the base umpire, and they say, yes, he did go around. So that is a strikeout for Moss. Back-to-back strikeouts here for Casas. Critical strikeout there to a full count. 2 outs now. Enyart up to bat, left fielder for the Crabs. First pitch to him, slider misses outside, 1-0. Looks like some of the horn session is going to head out early. They're banking on the Crabs holding on to this one, and who wouldn't with them being up 11-0 here in the bottom of the seventh. Enyart's quickly in an 0-2 hole here. Just wanted to take a look at how many strikeouts that is for Casas now. It is 5 strikeouts. Nice outing for him. And still 1 batter to go here. But this one is ripped down the first base line, but it's foul. Crowd groans as they wanted that to be fair. That was certainly going to be extra bases for Enyart if that stayed on the right side of the chalk line. Casas already back on the rubber. He is ready to go. Enyart not so fast. Now he signals he's ready to go. Umpire says he's ready to go. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. He yanks this one out to left field pretty well. It is. That's a home run for Enyart. Of the day. It's a solo shot for him. And it's now 12-0. That is wild. I mentioned that Parker Crystal bounced one off the top of that yellow part of the fence in batting practice, but now we saw live in the game. And this one's hit out to right center field. It's going to bounce in front of Miller for the base hit. Lombardi gets on base with a single. Well, wow, that's crazy. I hope y'all were able to see that live on the feed. That was wild.
Second baseman, Ivan Suarez.
First pitch gets away from Edens, but runner's not going anywhere. 1-0, the counts. New batter is Suarez for Crabs. He's the second baseman. He steps out to take a breather, comes back in. Oh no, pitch nearly gets Suarez, but he gets out of the way of that. 2-0. This one is way up and in on him, but he almost swung to protect himself from getting hit. But I'm impressed that he got a piece of that one. 2-1. Casas goes over to first base to check on the base runner, Lombardi, but he gets back in there safe. Pitch on the way gets through Edens, and the runner is going back to first base. Looked like he wanted to go, but might have not with that generous bounce off the backstop, with the backstop being so short here. But also with the score being 12-0, coach may have told base runner to just stay put. Strike called on the upper part of the strike zone there, 3-2, full count. Payoff pitch here. Runner starts running early, and that is ball 4. So after 2 strikeouts to start out this inning, Casas gives up the home run to Enyart off the top of the left field wall, and Lombardi follows that up with a single, and now Suarez is walked. Runners on first and second, 2 outs. Here comes Rogers, who has walked but struck out 3 times. Not the best of days for him. And we do have action in the A's bullpen. I imagine that's who we will see in the bottom of the 8th inning. Count is 1-0. Now it's 1-1 to Rogers. Pitch swung on and missed there, 1-2. And Casas is 1 strike pitch away from gifting Rogers a golden sombrero. That is a slang term for somebody striking out 4 times in a game. But that won't happen on that pitch. Way outside, 2-2. Comes back, fouled. Is it going to stay in play? Ethan Wood on the run for it, and he catches it, so that'll put an end to this inning. But after 2 scoreless innings, Enyart gets the Braves back on the board with a, oh, by the way, run there off the top of the left field wall. And it is now 12-0 as we go to the top of the 8th. Lots to cheer about tonight for Humboldt Crabs fans. They're up big late in this game, 12-0, and some fan just won the 50-50. Here we are in the top of the 8th, just as mentioned, and Ethan Wood is the batter for the Athletics. He finds himself in a 1-1 count to lead off this inning. And he is over 3 today, as a matter of fact. Fielder's choice, 2 strikeouts. He takes that pitch for a ball, 2-1. Ethan Wood certainly has the power to put it out of this ballpark. And he might have been thinking about it there. Took a big hack swing and a miss, had a pitch up in the zone, 2-2. That pitch up and outside, it'll be a full count now, 3-2. Full count pitch, yanked down the first base side. That's a base hit for Ethan Wood, his first of the day. He's thinking about 2. No, he'll hold up at first. Throw into second base. Wise decision from Ethan Wood. That throw was zipped in there quickly by the right fielder. But there is a leadoff single, the first leadoff hit for the Athletics of this game. So Ethan Wood getting things started here for the Athletics. A's hoping just to get a run or 2 on the board here. to have something to feel good about as they head into tomorrow's game. Hayes Edens is the batter now. He is 1-0 now, 1-1 as he chops that one foul. Hayes is 0 for 3, struck out, flew out, and grounded out. So 3 different outs of different variations. He's hoping this at-bat results with anything but out. Swing and a miss there. He was out in front of that pitch, 1-2. Jacobs is still the pitcher on the mound. He throws that one. Wow, I don't know where that missed. He doesn't know where that missed either, 2-2. That looked to have really good height, looked to be on the outside part of the plate, but umpire rules it's ball 2-2 is the count. With the count even, Jacobs comes home. That one's going to ring up Edens. Strike 3. That looked like the same pitch, as a matter of fact, as the last one. So I don't know what the difference was between those two pitches, but either way, that's a strikeout looking for Edens. Another strikeout talent for Jacobs. And Luke Vaughn, baseman, coming up for the A's. Jacobs checking on Wood over at first base. He gets back in there safely. He doesn't even have to slide back in. So after that, Navad steps out of the batter's box, resets, comes back in. Bat in the air, a little adjustment on the brim, and we're ready to go. First pitch of this at bat is a ball that catches the upper outside part of the zone. 0-1. That one's called a strike, 0-2. That one definitely looked to be a ball either up or in. So Navad quickly in the 0-2 hole. He's been in a couple of these today, but managed to wriggle out of it in the first inning. See if he can do it here this time, and we'll keep an eye on Wood to see if he plans on stealing the base. He doesn't. He stays. Navad checked his swing, but the call is a strike anyways on the pitch. So that's 2 back-to-back backwards Ks for Jacobs. Parker Cristall up to bat for the Athletics, and he's looking to change his fortune here today. 3 strikeouts for him, all swinging. Healthy secondary lead for Ethan Wood. Swing and a miss from Cristall, strike 1. Digs back in. Jacobs is now set and ready to go. Here's his 0-1 pitch, and Parker grounds this one to the third baseman, who can't make the play. Took a weird hop on him. And there goes Wood to third. Is he going to be in there in time? No, he's not. So Morris made the error there, bounced off the heel of his glove. It went into the outfield, but the outfielder makes a great throw to Morris, makes the tag on Ethan Wood, and that is the end of the inning. Curious to see how they'll get whether it is an error. I know I just said error, but I could have been a tough play, so grabs a single from Cristall. But either way, end of the inning, and yet again, some runners on base, or at least a runner on base for the Athletics, but nothing doing as they are still getting shut out here. Well, as we take to the bottom of the eighth. Crabs up for the last time of this game, most likely. Sky to left field. Mikey Ramirez is under it. That's out number one. Quickly for the Athletics. So, yes, that was an error.
Florida Field, Edmonton scores.
Fresno. And here is the leadoff batter, Morris. He takes the first pitch, strike 0-1. Next pitch, called the ball to him, 1-1. He plays his ball in the Bay Area, Santa Rosa College, but as mentioned earlier in the broadcast, he is a local kid from Eureka. He takes that pitch for a ball, 2-1 is the count. Very methodical with his reintroduction into the batter's box there. This pitch is yanked out to right center field. I think it's going to hold in the ballpark. Yep. One offset the warning track and throw coming in. That's a double for him. And he does a little crab celebration there on second base. Can't blame him for the team he's playing with. 3 base hits for him, 2 singles and a double there. That was a very long double. The batter now, he is 1 for 5 today. And you could say the toughest day, I reckon, for the Humboldt Crabs. But if you're saying that's the toughest day, then you're doing pretty good. Pitch misses for a ball there. 0-2. And sorry for being late to the game on this one, but we do have a pitcher in. This one is foul back. Pitcher is Sawyer Athletics. Two on is the count to Perazo. Here's the pitch that is outside, 3-1. Healthy lead for Morris there over at second base, and even bigger with the secondary lead. But he won't go anywhere. However, Perazo will go somewhere. He'll go to first base as Sawyer walks him. Runners on first and second, 1 out in this inning, and up to the plate comes Forsythe.
Number 5, unfortunately.
Single walk, sac fly, and a couple of outs after that for him, but not a day he will complain about. Sawyer and the Athletics looking for a ground ball double play here to end this inning. First pitch to Forsythe is ripped in the box, handed that's a base hit. Ramirez on it, trying to throw it in. That is going to be Morris scoring. Throw gets into Sawyer. Yep. Double pitcher, at second base. Slide and absolutely. For him, but also at third, Forsythe settles in at second with that RBI double. 13-0 is the score. First pitch is called strike, looked to be a bit inside, but the Athletics will take anything they can get at this point. Second pitch, low. Oh, that was interesting. That's a live ball. That's a live ball. That's a live ball. Here comes the runner coming home. Seems like I was the only one that noticed that. It's thrown away. Is he going to come in? No, he's not. Well, I've only ever seen that once ever. And that was in a wild playoff game in between the Rangers and the Blue Jays when the ball got thrown off of Russell Martin's bat and a Rangers runner came in to score. This was like 2015 or something like that. But we just saw that right there. Edens threw it off of Moss's helmet and it bounced into foul territory. And everybody was delayed on that. Edens was delayed. Sawyer was delayed. The base runner that came in to score, Peraza, was delayed. But maybe somebody was shouting from the dugout that's a live ball. But anyways, I was waiting to see what happened there. I was calling that one out very early, but that leads to the 14th run of the game for the Crabs, and that is just insult to injury for the A's. 3-2 is the count now to Moss. And he gets rung up on, called strike 3. So 2 outs here now. Stepping into the plate is Enyards. Moss was Mr. Grand Slam, but Enyard is Mr. How About Double. 2 home runs for him on the day. Very impressive day for him. First home run went right over the center field wall. And the second one was that very, very interesting ball that, or home run that bounced at the top of, we'll call it the chain link monster, and bounced out for a home run. He digs back in with a 1-1 count. Make that 2-1 as he watches that ball go by. 2 home runs is already very special on the day, but if you get 3, that is rarefied air. And that pitch is yanked way outside. Edens does a good job to get to that before it becomes a pass ball. 3-1 the count now. Sawyer's 3-1 pitch, misses low and outside. Easy walk there for Enyards. He goes to first. Forsythe stays at third. Runners on the corners, 2 outs.
Number 28 catcher, Nico Lombardi.
Catcher Lombardi stepping in now. He does have a base hit. That was a double and a single, as a matter of fact. So 2 hits for him. 2 for 5 on the day. First pitch upstairs, but catches the top of the zone. Strike 0-1. He wildly swings at that one in the dirt. 0-2. Sawyer and the A's 1 pitch away from being out of this inning. And they're just looking to get to the top of the ninth and finish this thing off. Sanders fields it, runs to second with it, and makes sure that that is the case. So 2 more runs
the world
to the
from
bottom of the
the
eighth.
what that smell is.
I'd call that
Giving
insurance
or
usually, but
Somebody
sure, it's
translate that
needed
for
really.
me. Anything
But anyways,
from
that was
Star,
14
happy birthday, and love you so
We go
much.
to
You
the top
are
of the
so
ninth.
good.
And the
And this
A's find
one's to
themselves
me,
in a very
from my
peculiar
mom.
role
Thank
here.
you, Mom.
First time they've been on
Congratulations
the
on the
receiving
excellent
end
announcing. It must
of
be the
getting
great
blown out.
Jeanette.
So
Love you.
we'll see how they
Oh,
respond
Mom,
at the
thank
top of the
you.
ninth and of course going ahead. Top of the Athletics' last at bats of the game, 3 outs away from this game being over, and they are searching for anything to be positive about in tonight's game. Mikey Ramirez leads things off here in the top of the ninth inning. Very interesting coincidence here. This is the third time he has led off an inning batting. 1-1 is the count to him right now. He is only one of the 4 A's batters that has a base hit. 1-2 the pitch. Or 1-2 the count, that is, now to Mikey Ramirez. Perhaps my faculties is getting a little numb right now with the cold. Anyways, Ramirez strikes out here. That's his first strikeout of the day, first out of this top of the ninth. 2 outs to go, and here comes Brian Sanders. First pitch to him, taken for strike 0-1. Taking a look at his day, he flew out to left field, and 2 strikeouts, 1 looking, 1 swinging. That pitch looked to be off speed, misses high, 1-1. Swung through and missed there, 1-2. Spiked in the dirt there. Sanders watches it go by. 2-2. Count evens up. Grounded over to third base. Morris has that one. Throws it over, 1 hop on the ground. It's pinched by the crab infielder there at first base. And 1 out away for a dominant victory.
Luke Reed.
So here we go. Luke Reed, potentially the last batter of the game for the Athletics. One of 4 people, as mentioned earlier, that has a base hit, and he swings and misses through that. Cheddar, 0-1. Like to get a radar gun on that one. That looked to be really quick. So does that one, but that BB misses low and outside, 1-1. This pitch is called ball, 2-1. That was off speed right there, perhaps a curveball. Good location on that one, but just misses, says the umpire. 2-1 pitch spiked in the dirt. That didn't even look like that got to 55-foot mark. 3-1. Digs back in, 3-1 count, trying to get on base by any means necessary. So hopefully put a 1 on that board instead of a goose egg. He swings through that one, 3-2, and the Crabs are 1 strike away from game over. Pitch on the way, swung on and missed up high. Pitcher is extended on the mound. Wipe the floor. The Athletics in this one. 14-0. The Crabs pinch the Athletics tonight. Just dominance all around. Athletics were not able to get a base runner past second base tonight. Only 5 hits on the night for them. They committed 3 errors. But of course, that top of the second inning was the all-telling one. As 7 runs on the Cavs. Absolute dominance. There were 2 batters today. Practically unheard of, to be honest. It's incredibly hard to think of. Crabs in their elements tonight. Their undefeated season continues. As lacking the athletics. So athletics will have a lot of thinking as they go back to the keep it competitive. Never a bad night of baseball. Good night here in small town of Arcata. Thank you, of course, for having us here at this nice little ballpark tucked in between the 101 and downtown. And thank you, everybody that stayed through this month for some pleasant entertaining. If you were an A's fan, we appreciate the support all the time, always. And we'll be back at 6:30 p.m. is the game. And Sunday's game will be a matinee at 12:30, so we can hit the road after the game and get home on Sunday. In the meantime, have a good night. Please.